Hi, I'm Dave Cuthbertson from AssetGen, and I'm going to take you through how we automate the outputs of Visio and Excel documents covering services and systems. Trying to maintain thousands of diagrams and spreadsheets in an enterprise infrastructure is not easy, and so what we're looking to do with AssetGen is not only produce these outputs and make them visible, but also to reduce the time and effort to ensure that if anything changes within our systems or applications, that we get to see them quickly. If you're trying to support change control, incident management and other things, then you will find that good information is quite important, particularly when something goes wrong. Trying to get consistency in format when we have different application teams, locations, suppliers and partners is a challenge, so we also look to achieve that with our AssetGen range as well. There are many different views of a server, and what I'll be focusing here is on the application service impact you see on the top right there. All the other types of Visio diagrams and ways of explaining where things are or how they connect together are covered in other videos. First of all, we log into our AssetGen SysMap application and we pick up a configuration item which is of particular interest that we want to explain as a diagram. I'll show you the manual process and I'll show you how we then automate it. So for instance, if I wanted to take any particular server, here's one I've been working on recently, and I wanted to understand the service impact of this, I would just put in a title, call it Service Impact. Choose a level of detail, I'll just leave it at defaults, and I press Draw. And this will create a service map, as you see. Within the Visio diagrams, we have embedded shape data on the server. We have also embedded hyperlinks to take us into our application, as you'll see later. And what I want to do is to do that in an automated way, because I may have hundreds or thousands of servers, as well as I may have many services and applications they all link into. Taking those settings, AssetGen version 4 provides us with templates where we can save previous diagram settings and repeat them. And what we will do is change this into a batch process. So for instance, server win001, I can take that diagram, load it up, and you'll then see that we have different types of outputs that we can then choose. But the thing is to do this on a repetitive way. Likewise, we can also do the same on any of the outputs that we provide in Excel format. So if I hit the export function here, I can have various templates that, for instance, will give me a service listing. So if I click on this, load up all the settings, what this will do will provide us with an output of all the services and their attributes. You can see here various attributes that we'll get. And if I press Run on this, here is a service listing giving the various configuration items, the business impacts, the owners, when they were last validated, recovery plans. And I produced this from the same data that was also produced in my diagram. To automate both the Visio and Excel outputs, under the Utilities menu, the automation feature will allow us to set up a schedule to run this overnight or manually whenever we want to. For instance, to show you what one looks like, here I've got a schedule called Service Map and Service Listing Update. This will take an existing service map that we've generated, a template called Service Map Claims Processing. It will create a new service map. It will archive the existing one into a particular location, and it will generate two outputs, a Visio diagram and also an HTML version, which you can use to support infrastructure portals, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Next one down, I have another service map, but here I have a services listing, so that spreadsheet that you just saw, this will produce this and we'll save this into a particular location. I can run this manually by pressing Run File, but we'll use the Windows Task Scheduler that will automate the process and do the updates. The reason we do the HTML exports is so that we can then provide an infrastructure portal for people to understand all their services and applications. Here, for instance, is a very simple infrastructure portal. We provide just some hyperlinks to go down to some documents. So if I go down to Services, here I've got a service map for claims processing. If I click on this, this will show us the web published version of the Visio diagram. With Visio, when we publish, we also include all the shape data. So if I do Control click on this CRM system, you can see all of the attribute data on the left hand side. The same with the services. If I do a single click on any one of these, you can see the embedded hyperlinks which will take us into the SysMap web application so we can do further analysis or verification. So here, for instance, is an impact analysis form, so I can check and make sure there are no other servers, apart from the ones you see in that diagram, that this database is running on, and it's just running on the one server. Web published Visio diagram there is a portal, and we can maintain and update all of those web diagrams for every service simultaneously, typically using an overnight batch run. This obviously gives lots of flexibility, so we can create maps for both applications. So if I wanted to add to this an application, I think I have, for instance, a template here. We want to do an application diagram of how the CRM system works. If I select this and then I add in the names and the titles, the formats, any archiving information we wish to add, this will also then add this to the schedule, and so I could update within one click or as an overnight batch job a few hundred service maps simultaneously. I hope that shows you very quickly how we can automate the production of hundreds or thousands of diagrams and Excel spreadsheets covering services, applications, hosts and inventories from our system mapping software. Please download our eval copy and look at the other videos that explain other aspects of the system mapping application. The key thing is that from a user's perspective they can get access to information easily, and the amount of workload imposed on technical staff to deliver this as a service is minimized by the automation and overnight updates. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, please contact us, and there is an eval version that allows you to try this out using your own data.